Never mind. Nice to see you all. So let's just get settled into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And have your feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. And just feel the weight of your feet on the floor. Just align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And just imagine you're lengthening your spine. And then go to the crown of the head and just release any tension there. Relaxing your scalp and forehead, eyes and nose and cheeks. And the area around the mouth. Relax the back of the head and the neck, and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And then just notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. And then be aware of any distractions in your environment, any potential distractions, just allowing them to be there, and particularly sound. So your mind always tends to go towards it. And then, of course, the notifications that might be coming up on your phone or iPad or computer screen. And maybe if you have your watch on, if you have a smart watch on, maybe take it off. Is what mine does. Excuse me. When I get a notification, it taps me on the wrist, and it's kind of distracting. So then just check in with your mind this evening. Just see how you're feeling. And just allow all the thoughts to kind of, bubble up and abide, and then just trying not to follow the story. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, the ones you don't particularly like. Just excuse me, just remembering they're all equal, and that they all want to be happy and they don't want to suffer. And they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. And so we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind. So equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. The reason to regret is based on this logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future, and we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. And we know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then also regretting the anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he has this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has this radiant face. It's very beautiful. And his eyes are long and they're shaped like lotus petals and peaceful, and they're full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings maybe you've harmed since beginningless time. And then turn your mind to the people who've harmed you. And particularly we want to remember them and have compassion for them, a wish for them to be free from suffering, because they're going to suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. This is the actual medicine. This power of the remedy is next. So we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mempi yatsa sawa kama sitame, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajrama memota vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajrama mimutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Juda meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anorakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything other than benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this kind of overflows and disappears into space, and there's not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, feel really happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine it's not possible to do anything other than benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine, it's the same as when you walk into a room, you flick on that switch, it's dark, and then the light comes instantly. So the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment and neediness and bitterness and grudges and disappointments and depression, anxiety, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra again. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa Sitokaya meboa Sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Sawasidi bimbi yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame, Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, Vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sitame Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think that there's no space now in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And now the purification of the imprints of negativity of our body, speech, and mind. So now you imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. And first of all, the nectar flows down and pushes out all the negativity of the body. And then the nectar flows up, pushing out all the negativity of our speech. And then the nectar comes and just blasts all of the delusions in the mind. And this is all happening at the same time, simultaneously. So in this way, you're eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan. Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita. Jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa. Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita jida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sitame. Sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe. So now imagine you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process, and it's a really crucial one. And this is this determination to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And without this, we're just going to keep doing the same old things over and over again, without this decision, without this determination. So first of all, rejoice in coming along tonight, taking the time out of your schedule, even though some of you might be really tired. And then think of something you'd like to work with. You know, it could be some niggly little habit you have, some rumination theme that you have going on in your mind. Maybe every time it sort of starts gnawing away at you, just kind of take a look at it, examine it. See if it really is something that is resonating for you, if it's just kind of nonsense that you can maybe let go of. And then think Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while, we can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And you can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So then let's just do our chanting the names of Manjushri. Great feast, who is by nature great delusion, delusion's vanquisher for deluded minds, great feast, who is in essence great fury, great adversary to all furiousness. Great feast, who takes the form of great desire, who vanquishes desire in all forms. He is great carnal lust, he is great bliss, he is great happiness, he is great joy. With great appearance, bearing forms supreme, with great complexion marked by great physique, with great renown, the great munificent one, his mandala voluminous and great. Okay, everybody. Let's have a strong wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long, and for the swift return of precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then all of your own individual teachers. May they live long. All right, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Some